Hi everyone, thank you for joining me once again. So as I promised, for April's Fool's Day, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories and pseudoscience theories are actually being born or being made in this gap between what science and historical research can tell us and the need for knowledge, the human need for knowledge. The world of academic research moves slowly. It takes time to find answers or proofs to different questions and dilemmas that are relevant worldwide. While those answers are not there yet because it takes time to find proofs to produce them, the human need for knowledge wants answers at the moment as we speak for things that we are not able to explain yet. In this gap, you have theories that say that if you're looking close enough, you can find the proofs and answer all the questions. The problem is that the mainstream world of academic science and research says that no, these are not proofs, they cannot be proven with the tools that we have at the moment, and they say no, those proofs are not something that we can use. We can't take them into the world of research and accept those theories as something that has already been proven in the tools and in the ways that we know by this point of the research. Those theories, for example, they use terms such as metaphysics. Metaphysics is a philosophical term that we can find in Aristotle's writing all the way back to ancient Greece. It talks about the connection between matter and spirit and reality and things that we experience, but it is a philosophical term. It doesn't come from the world of exact science. Modern philosophers talk about this term when it comes to how a person is experiencing phenomena in the world. But theories that come into those gaps in the places where research has not yet been able to prove things say that metaphysics is actually a physical way to prove things in the world of matter through their spiritual context. It's complicated because, again, it comes more from the world of philosophy than exact science. It's not that they're not aware of that, refer to that, or use it if they need to talk about a certain experience, but it is not a way to prove things in a lab, for example. And these theories that we know so very well are finding the way into the hearts and the minds of people, and today we're going to encounter a few of them. The first and maybe the most known one is the ancient astronaut theory, which says that basically all the stories from ancient times that we do not know how to explain, lightnings, weapons, miracles that happened, are actually the result of alien technology. The aliens were here. They were either involved of what happened in history or maybe sometimes created certain events, maybe they even manipulated the human DNA. And what our ancestors couldn't understand was actually technology that they didn't have the tools to explain. They didn't know what a spaceship looks like or a plane. And today, if we would have seen that, we would say, oh, this is a plane, this is an aircraft, this is electricity. Probably one of the most famous sayings is that the aliens built the pyramids. Now, the shape of a pyramid is something which is known worldwide, but when they talk about the pyramids, they're usually talking about the pyramids in Giza in Egypt. And yes, there are things that the world of science or history or archaeology today doesn't know how to explain. For example, there are many theories of how the pyramids were built, but because there are so many of them and there isn't one that all of the researchers say, yes, this is the one we stand behind it, people say that while we can't explain it, there must be something that we don't know about. For example, an external force that helped to build the pyramids. Now, there is a problem with the dating of the pyramids. The date itself doesn't really matter, but the people who actually did it. In late 19th century, in the beginning of the 19th century, there are many British people that are excavating all throughout the ancient Near East. But at some point, the people that are backing them and funding them from London, museums and institutions, they're asking for answers. You've been there for so long, you've been excavating, give us something that will look good on the media, something that we can tell people. And they come up with a few conclusions that they might have come up with under stress. So there might be a problem. They might have been a little bit way too rushed to give a date of when the pyramids were built because they demanded answers. Another things, for example, they say that a sphinx may have not been part of the original compound. Maybe it was something that was built way before. It's very ancient. There are researchers today that agree that beneath the Sphinx there's some kind of an underground space, room, chamber, and we can't actually get in there and dig and see what is there from tons of different reasons. You're afraid to hurt the Sphinx or the pyramid themselves. You need permissions from the regime to do that, and you don't have them at the moment. And this is where conspiracy theories find a way. For example, they say that underneath the Sphinx there's a chamber that has secret knowledge or treasures, that humanity is just not ready for them. And when humanity will be ready, we will find a way to actually go underneath the Sphinx and see what we have there. They say that the ancient pharaohs had alien DNA, and this is why sometimes the shape of their head looks weird. And once they died, the pyramids were actually something that was supposed to carry their energies back to their ancestors who came from the stars. We know of a person who found a very ancient Egyptian book of the dead, which is priceless in its contribution to the world of research. And we know that he cut it into squares to fit into his suitcase. There are archaeological excavations around the world that in order to find what you have underneath there, they actually blew them with dynamite. No one would do that today, I hope, although there are places where you can't really have someone looking at you all the time, and sometimes people come with enough money and agenda and they still do things that we find very shady in the world of research. Another artifact that they say was maybe some kind of an alien weapon is actually the Ark of the Covenant, the same Ark of the Covenant that was in the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. During the Exodus, some they say, one of the people carrying it by mistake laid a hand on the side of the Ark and it just evaporated into thin air. So some say it might have been a nuclear weapon that we don't understand. Some talk about something so magical that it came from a parallel universe, or like the universe between the universes. And where is it today? Because during the Second Temple it wasn't there, so when and where did it go? Maybe it's hiding somewhere underneath the mountain and we are just not worthy of finding it. Maybe people put it in caves near the Dead Sea in the Judean desert and no one knows where to look. Maybe it is in a church in Ethiopia, or maybe it is in the basement of the Smithsonian. We just don't know. We don't know what the artifact was and where it is. Maybe it was so dangerous that it was better to make it disappear. And what about the menorah, the ancient menorah? Was it really taken by the Romans after they destroyed Jerusalem? Does it still exist? Some say that it exists in the basement of the Vatican. But the search for these artifacts is not something that is just originated in the past and now people are being good treasure hunters looking to find it. One of the most recent conspiracy theories is about the American army going into the museum in Baghdad, taking a lot of things and shipping it back home. The American army does go into museums and archaeological excavations and sometimes spends a very short period of time there and goes out. But what they find in the museum in Baghdad really makes the imagination of people runs wild. The area of Mesopotamia, ancient Akkad, Sumerians, Assyrians, Babylonians, is one of the most ancient places for civilizations in the world. They had a lot of knowledge. They understood that the world is round and that maybe we are not the center of the universe. And one of the most famous things that come from Mesopotamian mythologies are the Anunnaki. Anunnaki are those winged figures that should be different divinities or entities. So they're supposed to be either gods or goddesses like Enki or Inanna. Some say that maybe they were entities completely different and maybe even aliens. There are those who say that maybe they were giants or that they manipulated the human DNA, or maybe they were something that we don't understand at all. But are they still here? This is a very good question. We see them doing a lot of mysterious things, for example, watering a tree of life in different illustrations or picturing and holding something which is unclear to us. Some say it is a magical device, a device that gives energy that we haven't found yet. Some say it is a nuclear bomb that has of theories. And if the Anunnaki are still here, where are they and what are they doing? So the theory says that when the American army goes into the basement of the museum, they find, for example, a stargate or a technology that allows it, harvesting the ancient technology of Mesopotamia and the entities that live there. You can create a gate to the stars or to parallel universes or to other planets, and they take it with them. They also send a very mysterious email back home that says, we have it, we are on our way. There are those who say that what they found there wasn't a stargate at all, but they actually found the DNA of the Anunnaki. They find remains of the Anunnaki and they are able to take DNA from it in order to learn them better or maybe even to improve current armies. And there are those who say that what they found there wasn't remains at all, they actually found the Anunnaki. And the form in which they found them was of a deep sleep that lasts for thousands of years, and they actually took them as they are back to America. There are video photographies of that. They are probably 99.9% fabricated. They are not real, but the theory goes wild. They said that they found Inanna or Enki or Gilgamesh, a very known Mesopotamian character, very known figure, that his father may have been a god or a demon, or Enkidu, that was created by the gods and was supposed to have this supernatural power. Some say they even found Nimrod. We know him from the Bible as an ancient wild hunter that rules Mesopotamia. So, who did they find? Where did they take them? Conspiracy theory lovers will tell you that if they had to choose 3 places where they can look for things, would be the basement of the Vatican, Area 51, and maybe the basements of the Smithsonian. They claim the Smithsonian is much more than just a bunch of museums in the area of Washington, D.C. It actually holds a lot of the secret treasures of the world that humanity doesn't know about. Should it know about? That's a different question. So if you love conspiracy theories, do share them with us. If you have one that you want to share and that I haven't mentioned, do tell us. I wish you a very happy April Fool's Day. Do only fun things and I hope you will laugh a lot. Thank you so much for joining me and I will see you next time.